everybody, Jennifer Maker here. It's a beautiful day to skip the plain white tees and make awesome bleached t-shirts. I'll show you some of my favorite ways to bleach t-shirts for neat all over effects, as well as how to create an area for sublimation or heat transfer vinyl, all with fun and easy techniques to get super cool and unique results. You can use these bleaching techniques to create one-of-a-kind shirts with sublimation or heat transfer vinyl designs. They are so cool. Come with me to the craft table and we'll get started. I love the effects that you can get with bleach, and I also love sublimating or using vinyl to decorate shirts. But most of all, I love combining techniques to create unique new ideas. And while these bleach shirts can be used with heat transfer vinyl, also known as HTV or iron-on vinyl, yes, they are especially cool when used with sublimation because usually you can only sublimate onto white or very light color fabric. But bleaching allows you to sublimate onto any color shirt you want because bleaching out the area that you want to sublimate creates a nice light canvas to show off your design. It's so cool. Now I'm even going to show you a way to completely customize the shape of your bleach effect to create a super cool background and border around the design. These really are so neat and I can't wait to show you how to make them. Now the full material list with links to everything that I used is at jennifermaker.com/492. It includes the shirts that I'm using, all of my tools like the sublimation printer and the cutting machine, and the heat presses. I'm also going to use t-shirt rulers to get the perfect placement of the design, and you can get these free at jennifermaker.com/t-shirt ruler guide. Now for the bleach itself, I like to use Clorox Splashless Bleach in the concentrated formula. And you'll need something to place inside your shirt so the bleach doesn't bleed through to the back. I'm using a piece of foam that I purchased at Dollar Tree, but you can just cut old cereal boxes down to size or use a garbage bag if that's what you have on hand. Here's a tip though. I love to repurpose old tools and materials, so if you have an old non-sticky Cricut machine mat laying around, you can use that inside your shirt too. And there are a few safety rules to remember with this project. First, because both sublimation and bleaching give off pretty strong fumes, you'll want some good ventilation. I recommend doing the bleaching portion of this project outside because of the fumes. But if you're unable to do this project outside, be sure to open a window and turn on a fan. Okay, safety first. Another reason why I recommend doing this outside is that the sunlight actually helps the bleaching process. Yes, it does. I also recommend some latex or nitrile gloves to protect your hands and some eye protection like goggles too. I also recommend that you use an apron so you don't accidentally bleach the clothing that you're wearing, because that's no fun, right? And once you've gotten the results that you like, you'll need a way to stop the bleaching process. I use hydrogen peroxide for that, okay? So this is a fair amount of stuff to remember. You can see there's even more stuff here on the table. Remember, a full and detailed material list is over at jennifermaker.com/492. Okay, ready to get started? Let's begin with prepping our shirts. Step 1, prep and bleach your shirts. Now, like I said before, this is a great project to do outside on a sunny day. But since I'm bleaching indoors, I'll keep the windows open and the fan on. Prepare your bucket with a ratio of hydrogen peroxide and cool water. It's also a good idea to have a stack of paper towels nearby to use for spills. T-shirt test swatches. Bleaching different colored fabric can have some really fun and unexpected results. Before we dive in, let's make a test swatch to see what result we might get. Find an inconspicuous spot somewhere inside the hem of your t-shirt. Now lay down a garbage bag to protect your work surface and put on your gloves. Pour a few ounces of bleach into your plastic cup. Then be sure to replace the cap just in case something happens to your bottle. We're using undiluted bleach for this project because I find that it produces the strongest, most vivid results. Dip your paintbrush in the bleach and paint some small spots on the inside of the hem. Then set the cup aside somewhere so it won't get knocked over. Now set a timer for 7 minutes and observe the results. I liked my results after 7 minutes for the green and blue swatches and 10 minutes for the red and orange ones. Bleach your shirt. Now it's time to bleach our design. If there's any chance at all that you drip bleach on your garbage bag, it's a good idea to swap it out for a new one right now. This will prevent any stray drops of bleach from getting on the back of your shirt. Now I'll use a piece of foam board inside the shirt to stop the bleach from soaking through to the back. It should fill the whole body of the shirt, and this one I found at Dollar Tree happened to be the perfect size. Remember, you can also just use cardboard or an old machine mat, right? Just line up the neck and shoulders so everything is flat. Next, let's create a cardstock template. We'll use it to create an area on the front of the shirt to trace around with bleach, and then use that space to either sublimate a design onto or put heat transfer vinyl onto. If you already have a design in mind, you can use it to create your template. Cut it roughly the shape of your sublimation or vinyl design, but make sure it's a bit larger on all sides. You can also cut your template in a circle, a square, or a rectangle. Really any shape, the choice is yours. Just be sure your design will fit entirely inside. Now place the template on the shirt backward, since the design will be mirrored. It's important to remember this step or your design and bleach space may not line up. Pour a few tablespoons of cornstarch into a clean plastic cup. We'll use the cornstarch to create a more defined edge to our outline than just bleach alone. Dip your brush in the cornstarch and then trace along the outside of the cardstock template. Remove the template and set it aside. Now dip a clean brush into the bleach and let the bleach drip off so you don't leave a trail on your shirt. Now paint inside the cornstarch outline. Isn't that cool? I also tried tracing with bleach around the cardstock template without cornstarch and then painting with bleach to fill it in with nice results, though not quite as defined as the method with the cornstarch. Have fun with it, and remember, perfection is not what we're after here. Now, if you'd like to bleach the entire front of the t-shirt, you can put bleach into a spray bottle, and that will quickly give you the desired effect. For more subtle bleaching effects, you can dilute the bleach like I did in my Bleach Stencil tutorial. Find out how I did that at jennifermaker.com/bleach stencil shirt. You could also add drips and splatters of bleach by soaking the paintbrush bristles in the bleach and then tapping the handle over the shirt. How cute is this going to look once the color starts to change? To add yet another fun effect, you can use the spray bottle and spritz it around the design. Carefully fill your spray bottle with bleach, making sure to screw the spray nozzle back on right away. Before you spray onto your shirt, do a few test sprays into a sink or bathtub to make sure the nozzle works perfectly. If you find your bleach is too thick to spray well through the nozzle, you can dilute it with about an ounce of cold water. But be aware that this may delay your bleach results a little compared to your test swatch. And do this over the sink just in case of spills. Rinse any bleach down the sink or tub when you're all done. Now spray on and around the edges of the design. Set a timer based on your swatch results and preferences. I'll set mine for 10 minutes. Isn't that fun? I just love these bleach effects. If you're loving the bleach look and want to add an all-over effect, remove the shirt from the foam board and scrunch it into a pile on top of the garbage bag. Mist it with bleach spray to give it an all-over variation in color. Then flip it over to get the back if you want to. For this technique, it's easier to just let the shirt sit and the bleaching action to happen rather than speeding it along with extra heat. Another one of my favorite ways to craft with bleach is to use a stencil and spray bleach to create a positive or negative design or series of designs on your shirt. Check out my Bleach Stencil tutorial at jennifermaker.com/bleach stencil shirt. As soon as you're happy with the way your bleached shirt looks, remove it from the foam board if you haven't already, and immediately soak it in the bucket to stop the bleaching process. This is really important. The mixture will stop the bleach immediately, and after a few moments in the bucket, you can remove your shirt. Toss it in your washing machine by itself or together with others that you also bleached. And wash it on cold with a mild detergent and then air or tumble dry on low heat. Step 2, decorate your bleached t-shirt. Now the fun part. Once your shirt is clean and dry, you can now add some personalization or a design with iron-on vinyl or sublimation. For help applying a heat transfer design to your bleached shirt, check out my tutorial at jennifermaker.com/make t-shirt cricket. For help sublimating your bleached shirt, follow my t-shirt sublimation tutorial at jennifermaker.com/sublimation t-shirt. Sublimate, then bleach. For a fun alternative, I'm going to show you how to sublimate your shirt first and then bleach it. Crazy, huh? It seems backward, but this method actually yielded my favorite results out of all of my tests, and I'll show you why. To get started, you can download my Sublimation t-shirt design files from my library at design number 492. You'll want to go to jennifermaker.com and click on Libraries in the red bar at the top. Get a password if you don't have one, it's free, or click Enter the Library. And then search the page for design number 492. When you've got it, just click it to download it, and inside you'll find awesome files. I've got a hashtag Mom Life design, but I also have this Best Mom Ever design too. Or you can use these steps for any sublimation design you'd like. Prepare and print your sublimation design with Google Docs. If you need help doing this, go back and watch my tutorial all about sublimation t-shirts because I show you exactly how I use Google Docs in that tutorial. After your image is printed on sublimation paper and left to dry for a little bit, I'll follow the steps in my Sublimation Cookbook to sublimate this awesome bleached shirt. So following my recipe, we first preheat the heat press to the right temperature. I'm using my Cricut Easy Press, so I set mine to 385 degrees Fahrenheit or 196 degrees Celsius to warm up. Now gently tear the edges around the design to smooth out the transition off the page. This is called feathering, and it prevents any lines of sublimation ink that might have snuck onto the edge of your paper from transferring onto your shirt, as well as helps prevent indents from the sharp edges of the paper. Now lint roll the shirt to remove any dust or debris, which can cause unwanted marks to appear on your surface. And to help center the design, we'll make a center crease folding the shirt in half vertically, and then we prepare our workspace with the pressing mat, and then press it with the Easy Press for 10 seconds. This also serves as the preheat, removing moisture and ensuring a good transfer. Lay the shirt face up on the pressing mat. Slide a 12 by 12 piece of white cardstock inside the shirt under where your design will be to protect the back of the shirt from extra sublimation ink. Now take your sublimation print and curve it into a U or a taco shape and pinch the middle of the top and the bottom of the paper to mark this center, but don't fold any of the printed image itself. And now place the top of the design about 2 inches below the collar of the shirt. If you have a V-neck or a lower cut shirt, about 1 inch below the collar is usually a good placement. You can use my t-shirt ruler guide here if you want some help. You can get them free over at jennifermaker.com/t-shirt ruler guide. Place the design ink side down on your preheated shirt, lining up the creases to center it, and then remove any t-shirt guide or ruler that you used. Secure the design with heat-resistant tape on all 4 edges to keep it in place during the press. Now open your windows and turn on a fan to help with any fumes. You want to have good ventilation when you sublimate. And using a sheet of white uncoated butcher paper, cover your design and press with light pressure for 40 seconds at 385 degrees Fahrenheit or 196 degrees Celsius. And that's if you're using the Easy Press. The Sublimation Cookbook tells us that we need 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 204 degrees Celsius at 45 seconds if you're using an AutoPress, right? Now return your heat press to its cradle and wait a few minutes until everything is cool before peeling off the paper and revealing your awesome sublimation design. Isn't she the cutest? I have to say, I love her bun. I love buns, you know me. I think this looks good, but the shirt is a bit dark and it detracts from the design. Wouldn't it be better with a cool bleached background and border? Let me show you how. Step 3, bleach your sublimated t-shirt. Lay out a clean trash bag to protect your surface and be sure to have your 50-50 hydrogen peroxide solution ready. Slide the shirt down over a foam board and line up the neck and shoulders so everything is flat. Get your cup of bleach that you set aside earlier, your paintbrush, and your spray bottle full of bleach. And don't forget your gloves too. Dip your paintbrush into the bleach and let it drip off so you don't leave a trail on your shirt. And then paint around the edge of the sublimated design. You can make your border as big or small as you want. It's up to you. Once you have your outline, paint over your sublimated design to fill it in. I know it seems strange to bleach a sublimated design, but remember, I think it gives the best results. You'll see for yourself in a minute. You can also add drips and splatters of bleach by soaking the paintbrush bristles in the bleach and then tapping the handle over the shirt like this. And you can also use a spray bottle and spritz it around the design too. Spraying closer to the shirt will give a denser spray effect, while holding it away from the shirt gives it a sparser spray. Continue to spray on and around the edges of the design, and then set a timer based on your swatch results and preferences. I'll set mine for 7 minutes. Use a hairdryer or heat gun on low heat for a few minutes if you need to speed up the bleaching because you're inside. Remember to keep some distance from the shirt to avoid scorching. When you're happy with how your bleach looks, remove the board and soak your shirt in the peroxide water solution bucket to stop the bleaching process. After a few moments, remove the shirt and wash it on cold with a mild detergent. Then air or tumble dry it on low heat. Step 4, show it off. Here is what my finished t-shirts look after washing. Aren't they so fun and different? I just love these splatters. They're such a cool effect. This is a wonderful way to sublimate and get a colorful shirt at the same time. These bleach shirts are definitely some of my favorites. Don't they look so cool with the designs for Mother's Day? Or they really could be for any day because momming never stops. Hashtag mom life, right? Just before this video, Greg was reminding me about that mom life. Alexa's studying for a calculus exam. All right, so now I promised that I would tell you why I recommend sublimating first and bleaching second, and this is why. You can get scorch marks. Really, see these scorch marks? This is a result of my heat press heating up the residual bleach that's still left in the shirt after washing and actually burning the fibers. Bleaching and then adding the high heat required for sublimation is really harsh on the material, which may also cause it to wear out faster or develop little holes. And you don't want that on the shirt that you just worked so hard on. Bleaching after you sublimate also means you have much more control over creating a super cool bleached outline for your design, which makes your sublimation design really pop on the shirt. Now, as far as care goes, be sure to turn your shirt inside out whenever you wash it. That way, the front of your shirt won't rub against other things in the washing machine, and the design will last a lot longer before fading. Always wash with cold or warm water and a mild detergent, and take the shirt right out of the wash when it's done. Letting it sit all crumpled up and wet for too long can damage the sublimated design. I highly recommend you also air dry your shirt or tumble dry it on the lowest, coolest setting. The key is to avoid exposing your sublimated shirt to super high heat again, as this could cause the ink to bleed out and fade over time, as well as being pretty harsh on the bleached areas. If you want to learn more about sublimation, be sure to check out my Sublimation Cookbook at sublimationcookbook.com. Not only are the sublimation directions for Bleach Shirts in there, but so are over 150 other sublimation projects, all with the pressing times, temperatures, and pressures, among many other things. It is a super helpful guide that I myself use all the time because it's hard to remember all of the various numbers, right? And if you have any questions about making bleached and sublimated t-shirts or anything else craft related that you think I can help you with, please let me know. I love to help. Leave your question below this video or ask over in our group at jennifermaker.com/sublimation group. Post your pictures too. I want to see all you moms in your awesome bleached and decorated t-shirts. And that's it for today. Until next time, this is Jennifer Maker reminding you to craft a life you love.